Hey, Randy, how's it going? It's good to see you.
Very nice to be seen. No, I'm sorry. Nice to see you as well.
So you and I met several years ago when I was looking for some Google business help, and you had all these nice videos that you had produced, and you were nice enough to take my call and really sort of take me by the hand and teach me about Google My Business.
I remember it well, and then all of a sudden, over the years, the script has been flipped, and I've been talking to you about micro workers and all kinds of other things that you do that are completely foreign to me, and I'm like, wow, that could work.
Yeah. Well, you and I are both entrepreneurs, and I know you have sort of a rich history, and you were just mentioning to me offline that you're launching 2 new businesses just this week.
True. I've decided, my wife was kidding me the other day because I was mentioning some other profession that I've had. And of course, if you're entrepreneurial, you end up having potentially many professions. And I thought, I need one more profession, like I need another hole in the head. But as of Monday, I'm now a YouTuber. So I guess I'm an influencer and a YouTuber as of Monday. And
Cool.
yeah, so that's the latest.
Well, that'll be fun to talk about, but maybe before we hop into that, can you just give us a little bit of history? What's some of your experience?
So I claim that, I'm the most interesting guy in the world. Well, at least I don't know if I'm interesting to your listening audience, but I know that I've had the weirdest career maybe in history. Undergrad psych, graduate UCLA law, never practiced a day, opened a bicycle retail store between my first and second year of law school in order to pay the bills. Went from there to importer, exporter, manufacturer's rep, manufacturer to wholesale and manufacturer to retail, ad agency. Eventually, for 28 years, I was a plastics manufacturer in the United States, successfully manufacturing bicycle squeeze bottles and printing on them, and became the largest such manufacturer in the world with over 5 million bottles a year. Then when I sold that business, what does every good manufacturer do when they sell their business? They become a consultant. Of course they do. So for the last 13 years, I've consulted with about 300 plus businesses. And most of them would say he was a good guy. There's a few that wouldn't. And then starting a couple, and then all that time, over all those years, I was also writing books. So I now have 8 or 9 business books, 3 of which have been published in the last 3 years. The most recent one is Making Money Out of Thin Air. And that one is all about how to use your financial reports, your profit and loss, and your financial statements and your reporting, using all of that in order to make more money, even if you don't increase sales $1. But in fact, you can use your reporting in order to help you increase your sales. So anyway, that's the most recent one. And so starting 3 years ago, I opened a mastermind group.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that to be the most fun thing I've ever done out of all those different things. And in the course of starting the mastermind group, then it was 2 groups, then it was 3. And then we also opened a business referral group called Business to Business Referral Group.
What did you say it was called?
E-Team. So
E-Team?
there's Team Referral Network, which is a known brand. And we took a piece of, we worked with the team people, and we opened kind of a division of that called E-Team, our executive team. And that is only business to business. So no business to consumer people in there. So we had that business, and we had the mastermind business, and then we had the consulting business, and we had all the books. And I was marketing all of them independently. So each of the 3 books, those were all 3 marketing. The E-Team was marketed. All of these things were being marketed independently. And then it occurred to me one day they were all the same customer. They were all small business owners, typically under 10, certainly under 25 employees was my niche.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have the same problems, and they're all dealing with the same issues. And so how could I market to all of them with one format, one media? Well, it turned out to be two. So the YouTube channel is called Small Business Daily. And therefore, as it notes, it's daily. So every day there's a 20-minute program, every weekday. And that's been going since Monday. And then simultaneously, I put together a website called freebusinesshelpnow.com. And so that is got over 100 pages, over 45 subjects, covering everything from how to hire and fire to how to open a business, how to sell a business. I mean, everything you can think of. And so those two together, and also point at one another, also point at my books and point at masterminds and point at E-Team and point at everything else that I'm doing. So then consulting. So that's my two new ventures that started just this week.
Well, and I know you're also doing a little day trading on the side.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I did really well last year. I did so well that I was beginning to think I might be like in a special case. Maybe I should start teaching people how to do it. Well, until January, February, then I wasn't such a genius anymore. But today and yesterday, I'm beginning to look better again. I don't know. Maybe it has less to do with my brain and more to do with market conditions. But I did extremely well last year.
Yeah. Well, it's no surprise to me that you're doing the YouTube stuff now, because you always, I mean, that's how you first captured my attention, and you're so good on camera. And now you're taking sort of all your vast years of experience and just giving it away, I guess, on YouTube and on the website.
Yeah, well, you're giving, the giveaway economy has been going on for a good 25 years now. And so the idea that you give something for free that's valuable, that is, going to be something that's actionable, useful, that's been going on for 25 years. And then a certain percentage of the population that watch or read your free material will say, I don't want to do that. Yeah, thank you very much, Randy, for showing me how to do Google My Business in detail, but I don't want to do it, so I'll call you and hire you to do it for me. And that's been pretty common for, for 25 years. So yeah, the YouTube channel and the freebusinesshelpnow.com website, both of those do that. They lay it out, and there's plenty of good information, and we'll keep adding to it. But yeah, a certain percentage are going to say, hey, Randy, or maybe one of the other vendors that are shown on those sites.
Right. So it sounds like you're using it for a couple of things. One is, as you mentioned, to cross promote your books, your other things that you have going on. But then also, like you said, maybe 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 500 people will actually call you up and say, hey, can you help me with this?
Exactly. That's precisely right.
Has that started happening yet, or is it too soon?
Well, let's say that. So a very interesting methodology for building a lot of different kinds of businesses is to do what you're doing right now, is to do interviews. So in my YouTube channel, the first 16 days are just me. But starting on day 17, I start doing interviews. And so the interviews, when you do an interview with somebody who has a business that would be relevant to the same crowd, now all of a sudden you've got a relationship with that person.
Right.
It's more than just a casual relationship. You've done them a favor, you've promoted them, and you've dug deeply into what they do. And so there's a reciprocation there. So yes, already the interviews and the outreach that's happened as a result of both the website and YouTube channel is turning into business. Yes.
So can you give us a little bit of a crystal ball into who you have lined up to interview? Maybe not specifically, but what industries that they're in?
Yeah. So for instance, there's one guy who is I don't want to call him my protege exactly, but when I met him when I first met him, he was kind of getting his feet wet in the SEO and Google My Business space. And so as we talked and became friendly, I said, gee whiz, do you know about this? And do you know about that? And so over the course of a year or so, he got better and better and better at doing it. So I turn a lot of my SEO business over to him because I'm kind of busy right now. And so my first interviews will be with him. He's already got 6 or 7 videos on the website that take you, just like you were talking about, step by step through how to set up a Google My Business website and also to get highly ranked.
Mm-hmm.
And so he'll be on for 5 days. And then I've got, I was trying to remember the next one after that. I want to say it might be a website developer, but yeah, it'll be all those kind of things. It'll be mostly service providers, a lot of internet, but it doesn't have to be internet. And so I'm actually looking for people who are experts in their field, who provide services for small businesses, especially the very small businesses. Yeah, I'll be looking for those folks to come on the channel.
Well, it's awesome. It sounds like you and I are sort of doing the same thing almost.
In a way, mine is a what do you want to call it? A daily show. So there's the pressure of a daily show. And then also there's, I'm sure are well aware, there's the pressure of YouTube, that you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of video watched before you can monetize the channel. So getting the channel monetized becomes a whole nother story, because if you're going to be a YouTuber very long, it's expensive.
Right. And when you say monetized, you're talking about those are the ads that we see run before and sometimes in the middle of a video.
Yeah. So if to do a show like that, I have editors that edit it. I have people that are, doing other jobs with regard to it. And so there's a daily cost to put that show on. So you have to monetize the show some way. And ultimately, if I want this to go on more than 6 or 7 months, I probably would want some revenue coming from the YouTube side.
Yeah, sure. So I assume that the people that you're interviewing, they're not paying to be on the show, not at this point.
No, commonly, some of them at least will end up being commissioned or affiliates, sponsors. So they'll be, whether they're on the website or on the show, there'll be a link. And if they go to the link, then I'll get some kind of affiliate fee for having gotten them that business.
Yeah.
And I was shocked. Maybe you know this already. I started getting into this affiliate thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. I mean, the big companies like Weber and what do you call it?
Bluehost.
All these people, Wix, they're all using affiliates.
Yep.
And so I was really blown away by that. So yeah, there's a big affiliate opportunity out there if you have a good following. So.
Yeah, there really is. One of the things in my business, I don't know if you'd really call it affiliate, but it kind of is I do generate a lot of leads for people who want online reputation management work done.
Right.
And I used to try to do it myself. And then I realized that there were people that were better at it than me. And so I worked out a deal. I was like, well, if I give you all my leads, can you pay me back a little bit of commission if you do business?
There you go.
And it's, I have to do some marketing, obviously, to generate those leads and to maintain communication, but I don't have to deliver anything.
Exactly.
which is great because it frees me up to do what I enjoy the best, which is more marketing.
There you go. That's right. Yeah. So I actually like some elements of execution, but yes, at the end of the day, I'm like you. I'm a marketer. I'm a salesman.
Right.
And so that's where I live. That's where my favorite thing in the world right now is Mastermind by a lot.
So you're still doing the Mastermind groups?
Yeah. So we got killed by COVID.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I also had an Amazon business, and the Amazon products I was selling was in the bicycle business, and the bicycle business kind of blew up. So my sales this year, well, starting in April, my sales year over year were 1,400% up month after month. So my little Amazon business turned into a big Amazon business. So that made up for the fact that the Mastermind got kind of slaughtered. So we went from having 3 good face-to-face groups having one good Zoom group. And it's taken us about, well, pretty much from then until the last few weeks to really figure out the Zoom environment in a way that people are actually leaving those meetings really excited about what happened. We just had one last night, no, 2 nights ago, Tuesday night, 4-hour meeting. And people called me afterwards or emailed me afterwards, said that was great, So, and that's unusual to get that kind of an email. So we've kind of figured out how to do the online thing now. And we've also been using LinkedIn automated strategies for reaching out to potential members. And I've been doing probably a good 25 interviews a week. This is a hard thing.
You mean just based on the volume of?
Yeah, you're doing all these interviews, and then so some of them don't show up for the interview. Then some of the ones that show up for the interview say, "Oh, I'm going to come to your mastermind. It sounds great. I'll be there," and they never show up, and they completely ghost you. And it's like, so we're up to 2 really good groups with 8 to 10 in each group, and a third group is kind of starting to come together. But it's been way harder than I thought it was going to be. I can't wait to go back to person. We'll keep the Zoom meetings, but the person was much easier to build.
All in Los Angeles?
All in the Inland Empire.
Right. Okay.
Riverside, maybe 15 miles around Riverside.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting, something like that, because I participated in 1 or 2 of your mastermind groups. It's interesting. We start with an idea like a mastermind group, like, oh, I'm going to start a mastermind group. This would be cool. I know people who can connect, and you do it. And then after you get some experience, it sort of goes in a different direction and sort of takes on a life of its own.
Yeah. Ours is modeled after Vistage, which is the largest by far mastermind company in the country. They've got thousands of chapters. Mm-hmm. The difference between us and Vistage is 8 hours long. It's a whole day. The afternoon is given over to a professional speaker that they pay a lot of money to come in. But the morning is pretty much identical. We do a couple of hours with one company on the hot seat where all we're talking about is their company for 2 hours. And then we spend the other 2 hours dividing up the time between whoever else is there that day. And that's a very, very good, methodology for people to get actionable things done in a very quick second, and have a group that's going to hold you accountable who actually gets your business, because we all kind of do the same things. So, but unlike Vistage, we don't do the afternoon part. And now on the online Zoom ones, the new ones, we're shrinking them down to 2 hours.
Right.
But we do all of that for $200 a month, where Vistage charges like $1,800 a month. So there's a big difference between the two. But I'm beginning to see kind of why they charge $1,800 a month, because the cost of acquisition is high.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of work, that goes into organizing it that people don't realize.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and plus leading it, this is not the easiest thing in the world to kind of lead and create the value. Yeah,
I think the best part for us has been, I leave every meeting feeling like I've learned, I've gotten my $200 worth, and I'm the guy running it. I've learned something in that meeting that I can immediately take action on. If people who come into it with the attitude, not what can I get out of it for me, but what can I put into it for everybody else that's there, usually get the most out of it. Because teaching always, we learn more from teaching than we ever learn from being taught.
Well, that seems to be a theme that you've hit on here, and this is that give to get.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it really is a great model that even if you're like a mechanic, if you started making a bunch of videos or started a blog and gave away and taught people, eventually you're going to start, that's going to turn into revenue somehow. I'm not sure exactly how, but
it absolutely does. I mean, there's millions of guys out there. I have one of my clients is a bike shop. He gets more hits on the videos I do about him talking about differences between tires and differences between, derailleur sets or whatever. He gets more views on that kind of stuff than the lawyers get for their, for something on how to get divorced. I mean, it's amazing how many views he gets.
That is.
And obviously now he's shown how professional he is. He's shown his knowledge. He's shown that he's a good guy. It's amazing how he's got people driving 15 or 20 miles and passing 5 bike shops on the way in order to come buy a bike from him.
People, you probably got it all the time. I mean, people call us and they're like, and sometimes they'll say, oh, I saw your ad on YouTube. And when they say that, I know they saw one of my videos,
right?
Because I don't advertise on YouTube.
Right.
But it really gives us a chance to connect and develop trust.
Right.
Easily.
Yeah. No like and trust. That's the whole theory. And I was just talking with one of my clients earlier today that, in print, you don't get any body language. You don't get any kind of personality at all in print, except maybe if it's written well, written funny. You go to radio, at least now you've got the voice. So now there can be the enthusiasm, there can be the energy, there can be the passion, there can be that's a good voice. I know my wife, she chooses what she reads or listens to on Audible based on the reader, not on the content, but so it could be the voice. Then you go to television or video. Now you're getting almost everything you would get in a one-on-one situation in person. You're getting, body language. You're getting the energy quotient is even more obvious. The passion, whether the person is real. So yeah, video's the future. Businesses that are not creating videos are behind the 8 ball.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of fun too.
Yes, it is. It can be. Most people are pretty shy.
So let's bring it back to, as we're kind of winding down here, I want to bring it back to what you're doing now. You are just getting started. Do you have like a plan? It sounds like you have a pretty elaborate 16-day plan, and then you're going to start the interviews. So do you have revenue goals for this? Do you have sort of how much have you written out?
Yeah, so I highly recommend that every business have a revenue plan. Have a budget, have an opening the door budget, have a plan, have a goal. I'm in the unique, this will be interesting, I think, to people that are listening. There's a lot of folks right now that are going into small business that already had a corporate career, military career, police career, something like that. They got their 20 years, they're 25, they got their pension. They've got a working spouse that's covering the medical and maybe making $80,000 or $100,000 a year. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't really matter how much money they make at their venture.
Right.
They're not really covered by the rest of that. And so so I'm really old. So I even have Social Security and a working spouse, a university professor, no less. So the money is really not the object. Yes, I like making money. I am very competitive, and that's my reward. Seeing the dollars go up or seeing that it's making money. So, but the real reward in this one is knowing that the show works, that there are people that listen to it, they get value out of it. My most famous book is When Friday Isn't Payday. This sold, I don't know now, it's got to be in the 35,000 copies or something like that. It was originally published by Warner Business Books. Mm-hmm. That book, I've had people say, it sits by my bedside, or I got this from you when I read that, Randy. Well, those, you can't, there's no way to add that up. You can't, it's not like a trophy. It's not like money. No, it goes right in your heart. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I would love to have people sending me because my email's everywhere. I don't hide my email. I would love to have people emailing me as a result of the show or as a result of the website or any of the books saying, oh my gosh, on page 65, that really made the difference for me.
Yeah. Well, you've certainly been an inspiration to me over the years. I'm amazed at how many things you can do, and I probably haven't even tapped into all your expertise yet.
Yeah, you only say that because I'm your doppelganger, and you're like, yeah, I've got all these 700 things that I'm working on simultaneously too. And so, yeah, we're kind of alike in our what do they have the word for it now? Squirrel. Oh,
That's
that's an idea.
that's how it feels. That's how it feels sometimes. Well, my last question, and I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Are you willing to be a mentor?
Oh, um, I am. So my partner in Mastermind is a coach. He holds people accountable. He doesn't do any execution. He just says, "Oh yeah, this is what you should do. Now go do it. And when we talk next week, you should have done it." I hate holding people accountable, and I love to execute. So my theory of life is slightly different than a coach,
Mm-hmm.
which is where Mastermind comes in. Instead of me mentoring for $200 a month, I would rather have a person come into the Mastermind environment and be mentored there. And yeah, sure, we can have off-site conversations where I'm mentoring. And in fact, we even offer, they get an hour a month free from either Craig, my partner, or myself when they're a Mastermind member. So the mentoring can take place as a sidebar to the Mastermind, but mentoring somebody directly, it's not my personality.
Right. Well, in fact, the matter is you are mentoring a lot of people just by making videos like this, the ones that will appear on your channel and your website. So thanks a lot for your time today. It's great to talk to you as always.
I appreciate the opportunity to be on your program.